You're watching a report from Arise News. In this clip, political analyst Dayo Sobowale reacts to Peter Obi's concerns over President Bola Tinubu's prolonged absence from the country. This video is shared for public awareness, analysis, and informed discussion.
On Monday, Obi claimed Tinubu spent 196 days outside Nigeria in 2025, more time abroad than at home, and that citizens have not heard directly from him since December. He noted the president's absence during a new year marked by hunger, anxiety, and uncertainty, with no national address or broadcast. Obi described Nigeria as home to approximately 140 million people living in extreme poverty alongside widespread hunger, unemployment, and insecurity. He argued that leadership requires visibility and direct engagement, stating, quote, "Silence in the face of crisis is the loudest form of failure." Meanwhile, Ambassador-designate, that's Reno Omokri, has criticized Obi for claiming President Tinubu has neglected governance through extended foreign trips. He insisted that the president's location and activities were transparently communicated by the presidency. Well, Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to take a look at the claim and counterclaim between Peter Obi and Reno Omokri over Tinubu's foreign trips and why there's a public row over the presidential movements. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Many thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure being here.
Of course, we know for a fact that the president is in Abu Dhabi. We just saw a live broadcast just a moment ago. But regardless, if we set that aside and look at what the claims that are being made by presidential candidate at the time, 2023, Peter Obi, and looking at what Reno Omokri is also saying, where do you sit in this?
Well, you have settled the matter. You have settled the matter. There is a claim and there is a counterclaim. And both are credible, but they are debatable. That is the issue. I would rather dwell on where the president is right now and what he has gone to do. Then we look at the two comments in the light of that. He has gone to a conference in Abu Dhabi on sustainability in energy transition. And that is forward-looking. And he was invited by the president of that country. And if you look at the issues they are talking about, it's about energy innovation and transition to green energy and the finance structure to make that possible. That is forward-looking. In the face of what Trump is trying to do to derail energy transition to clean energy and focus on oil production. In our case, we have both. To get to that, we have oil and we are transiting to green energy. In the case of Abu Dhabi, the petrol states of the Middle East, they have more to lose than anybody else if everybody goes to green energy and abandon. What will they eat? But they are the people financing the transition because they say there's no way the world can forgo energy through combustion, that is through oil, and go to to green energy mainly. Trump is on the other side of that. So I appreciate what the president has done. He has said that earlier, that we will not lose out in this transition, and warned the ministries involved that they must get involved with the United Nations and all bodies involved in energy transition, because they give them money to transit to green energy. And China is leading in that now, especially with production of batteries and electric cars. So we should not be left stranded in that regard. And that's what this government is doing, and I commend it. Obi can be gathering statistics. You get me? But if you say a person has stayed more outside the country for so many days than inside, what does that mean? I do useless statistics, just political. What is important is the productivity of the visits. And I'm sure Reno Omokri, he has done the good job. We may say maybe because he has just been made the ambassador resident, but he and Obi have always been at each other's throat for a long time. So let's look at the proactive nature of the president's visit and the hope that has for the economy. and let's ignore what Obi is saying, if you can. Go ahead.
But so to that point, I mean, because I always like to go back to regular people, regular citizens. They see their president in Abu Dhabi, in Europe, France, wherever. They're dealing with insecurity. We were just talking about mass abductions in Edo State this morning, unemployment, education structures breaking down. I mean, there's so many issues here on the ground. And to think that, you know, the president's focus at this moment is on sustainability and green energy. How are people supposed to reconcile those two?
Well, if they do not see it that way, that is their business. They voted him into office to fix the broken economy. He did not break the system. The system has been broken for a long time. So it has to be fixed. And if I admire leaders who admit the system is broken and who try to fix whatever is wrong with the system. That is what reforms are all about. And we all have been at it for some time and we have suffered. But the tax reforms, some of them are bitter pains to bear. But he has appealed to people and they seem to be going along with him. And in spite of this, let me point out something to you. His party is gaining strength in spite of the lamentations of the obese and even what you are saying here now. The party is gaining strength. So it means there is something going for the party. If all the opposition governors are turning around to get behind. And you see, he's not the only one responsible for the welfare of Nigeria. We have 36 state governors. You get me? He should not go into a bunker because the system is broken and be hoping that if it is Obi's turn, he could do that. But he has not opted to do that. At times, they said he's so sick he cannot do anything. But keeps on traveling to conferences and bringing in investments into the country. That is his job. That is his job. I will advise people to look at the motives of the visits rather than the cost of petrol it is costing to fly his plane or the number of days he spends in Nigeria. Let's look proactively at the productivity and the investment he's bringing into the country to develop our infrastructure and make life more meaningful for our people. And in any way, this is a democratic system. And we have election. You know when we are having the election, everybody is tuned towards that. If he has not done well, they will not vote for it. So it is an electoral democratic process, and he's in the saddle. The buck stops on his table, and he knows he cannot afford to fail because he will not be re-elected. So the ball is in his court. Let him have his day until the next election.
All right, Mr. Sobowale,
yes.
Like you said, if he doesn't do well, he won't be re-elected.
Yes.
But what happens in the middle between the last election and the next election? The reality that we've seen on ground is horrendous at best. I'm speaking now.
Why do you say horrendous?
Because the insecurity that we're seeing right now is intense. To also have your favorite Trump intervene in order to bring balance or to bring sanity back to Nigeria, it shows that we've missed the mark, or the government has missed the mark. So at the end of the day, you're talking about the people who need to focus on the objectives of the visit, but the realities are still on ground, Mr. Sobowale. Yesterday, I believe that we saw in the headlines, you took that on What's Trending about terrorists being pardoned. I believe it was in Katsina State, for instance. That is something that's supposed to be countering the supposed efforts that was meant to be seen from this administration at the center. We already know your definition on security. My point at the end of the day, I'm getting there. I'm giving you a premise. My point at the end of the day is when you have leadership that doesn't have, that is lacking in empathy, then it does cause some form of feeling relegated to the background as a citizen. So with the body language of the president, even though he's pursuing what is indeed applaudable, the realities on ground don't match where she should be around right now to make sure that things don't degenerate any further than they already have.
Then you are totally disillusioned with the system. You are welcome. Okay. I'm not disillusioned.
That's fine.
And I will tell you why. You see, you mentioned Trump. Everybody was happy with what Trump did because he brought firepower, you get me, to deter those who are fighting us and those we cannot really fully fight with full might because of our socio-economic and cultural differences. You mentioned Katsina. Where people are freeing bandits. Is that the president's fault? Is Katsina not a state? And why will the people in that area free bandits if they do not have their reason? Is that the president's fault? That's part of the social. You see, Nigeria is a multi-ethnic federation. And you see, you don't have to behave like the proverbial ostrich that does not know what is happening. What is happening in Nigeria? Okay, you said Trump came. Many people are happy with the first Trump brought in. Luckily, we are not Venezuela. He sees their president and the wife, you get me? And he has proclaimed himself now acting president of Venezuela. So insecurity is not peculiar to Nigeria. There were situations in Sudan, Somalia, many other countries.
But Mr. Sobowale, comparing one tragedy to another doesn't make it right.
So what do you want?
You're saying that you're almost trying to normalize the situation, say it's not common to Nigeria.
And you are saying we should all go and not do anything?
No, I'm saying the president should be here.
To do what?
By a definition of security, he has, hasn't he?
He has not.
So what's your definition of security?
We still have a government in place. Government must deter our opponents.
And how is that
going? But you don't run government down here just because you oppose the president. It is wrong.
He's not opposing the president. The president has a duty to protect Nigerians, right?
Yes.
By your definition, how is that going?
Don't we have some stability?
Where is it?
Are we like Sudan?
You're comparing one tragedy to another. That doesn't make it right. Two wrongs don't make it right.
Are we Venezuela?
We are Nigeria. Where is our president?
Relatively, we are in peace. Or you don't buy that?
No, I do not.
That's your funeral. I'm sorry to say that.
Okay.
That is the situation. There's no perfect society. Nigeria is not utopia. Do you get me? But this president is in the saddle. Let him breathe.
Breathe while Nigerians die, Mr. Sobowale?
Yeah.
Nigerians
die? Not being killed by some people.
So that makes it right.
You don't know the bandits, you don't know the jihadists. So is it the president that is sending them?
We saw the president intervene in Rivers when he wanted to bring back order. Bandits. We can also see him intervene in some states that might be frustrating the efforts of our military and our security.
But it is not a failed system yet.
So we should wait until it fails, then he comes back?
That is your prayer. But that prayer will never be answered. I tell you, by the grace of God, that is your prayer. A broken system has to be fixed. It's not this president that broke it. We have had governments before. There are some, Obasanjo is still alive. Buhari is there. Jonathan is still around. So what are you talking about? Please. Let him breathe.
So, very quickly, Mr. Sobowale, because I think a large part of what you were talking about is the fact that the onus should be on state governors. So is it the...
No, look at the Katsina one. People, in this same Katsina, there was a time they were giving money to bandits in the forest, and the bandits later turned around to start killing them, and they wanted to remove the governor. Is that Tinubu's fault? We have 36 state governors.
So the governors should be doing more.
Is that not what the Constitution says? You're asking me obvious questions. There are 36 states. You have a federation, and the governors are in charge of security in each of their states. If some states are more rampant than the others, is that the president's fault? Even there is a claim from the U.S. now that there is genocide. You do not know why they are saying there is genocide. In Plateau, Benue State, where herdsmen are killing people who are Christians. And we are defending the system by saying that it's not genocide, that they are killing all people. Or are we not in Nigeria when we say all that? It seems we have gone to live in Japan now.
Probably.
Obviously, we better stay there.
Okay.
Yes, let's go on.
No, I mean,
well, Mr.
Very quickly. So let me move away from this topic just very slightly, because another interesting that Peter Obi said was the fact that the president doesn't engage enough with the Nigerian public in terms of one-on-one interviews. He speaks through presidential aides, through press statements. Do you see that changing anytime soon? Will the president start to engage more with individuals?
Look, that is his style, and that is his business. I go abroad. So you remember Biden? He was always running away from interviews.
But he still did.
What?
He would still do interviews every once in a while.
You can't compare him with Trump, who will carry journalists in the train, in the plane, everywhere. No, it's a matter of style. And like I said, it's the productivity of your style. Whether you live in the bunker, like Obi wants him to do, or you live in the air, as long as you put food on the table for your people and create security. I've criticized endlessly on security. And that's why I go back to my definition of government, that the government must secure the lives and property of its people. You get me? If you think he's failing on security, he's trying to get investment back. You still want to put a gun to his head on that? Please, let's be realistic. Next question.
There's no question.
No.
But thank you for sharing your view, Mr. Sobowale. We appreciate your time, as always. Many thanks.
That was an Arise News Report. What's your take on this issue? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more political analysis.